Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, it's Mr. Curler365. Yeah, it's time for another episode or review, or whatever you want to call it, of episode 4 of Robot Wars. And holy shit, it just gets better and better and better, especially with tonight's winner, Apollo. And holy shit. Call me a little bit odd here, but he just reminds me of Chaos 2 back in Chaos's 2 glory days. Probably around Series 3 and 4, where, it was pretty much, flipping out the arena or taking on the house robot. So, worthy winners, Apollo. Storm 2 as well. I kind of wish they made it through all the way to the final, but in the end, both worthy finalists, and Apollo reigns supreme. But before we get to the episode itself, let's start off with the group battles, or the contestants, should I say. First of all, can opener. It did say that it had the most powerful crusher in the entire competition, but I don't know. I just feel like can opener should have some kind of extra weapon. I mean, at one point, it had some sort of spike at the end, or unless that's kind of like a Shremek kind of deal to prevent it from flipping at an awkward angle. But I just think they should redesign the entire robot to have it more pushing power, so once they get a grip on the contestants, they can pull it around and just do whatever they want. PP3D, I thought this was a really good robot, kind of a unique design as well, especially with the spinning disc. I thought it was going to be ineffective, but as soon as they did damage to Apollo in their group battle, I thought this could be a one to look out for. With the contestants PP3D, it's a shame they didn't go through, and the same could be said for Eruption. Brilliant driving, and brilliant weapon. Definitely deserved to go into the finalists, but there can only be room for 2, and then eventually 1 winner overall. But I kind of felt sorry for them before they got the first win, because it's such a good robot as well. Well done to Eruption. I wouldn't mind seeing them again in the next series, hopefully, if there is a next series. Sabretooth. To be honest, I wasn't really too keen on Sabretooth. It looked kind of cool, but the fact that they had Shremek problems as well, that was kind of an easy target for Apollo and Storm 2 as well. So I like to see them try again. I mean, they've had numerous attempts in past series, but in overall, no big success, when it comes to television series. Sweeney Todd, it kind of reminded me, the wheels on that robot kind of remind me of Pussycat, but, obviously not in terms of, the same design, but, from the way that the wheels looked, it looked like it was, its main objective was to go, continue moving despite being in what situation. For example, if it was up against the wall, then the wheels will grip onto the wall and then just drive itself off. Something like that. But the fact that they were the team itself was newcomers as to the whole robot building and fighting scenario, they were also pretty much an easy target to the other contestants. Terror Turtle, I kind of knew from the get-go that they were destined to get eliminated in the first round. So, it's a nice, family team there. But in the end, it just wasn't really effective. Just never really got going. Never got a chance to see the disc in action. Got completely dominated by Storm 2 and Apollo, and that was it for Turtle Soup, as Jonathan Pierce would once say. For me, the highlight match has got to be the first match between Apollo and Storm 2, especially seeing Dead Metal and Matilda being flipped for the first time in this series. I mean, definitely reminds you of the old days of Chaos 2. Just after he won the British, the UK championships in Series 3, and got rid of Hypnodisc, decided to take on the House Robots. First flip Shunt, then had a go at Matilda. So, in all, probably the most entertaining match I've ever seen. And I have to say, I would have to say this has probably been the worst week for the House Robots in general. I mean, just when you think, Dead Metal and Matilda being flipped was bad enough, the next match featuring Apollo, Shunt gets flipped. So it's only a matter of time before Apollo come back even bigger and stronger in future series, and tried to take on Sakilla, which I would love to see, but only time will tell. I mean, I don't think Sakilla will just let them have it their way. So very entertaining fight between Apollo and Storm 2. For the second match, which was the final, I think Storm 2 should have gone with their spinning disc weapon, because throughout the show, Apollo had troubles with their drive system, and they took damage to the wheels. So I reckon if Storm 2 did go for the spinning disc weapon and attack Apollo from the side, that will probably do even more damage to the drive, and then that would have been it for Apollo. But like I said before, Apollo, review winners, Storm 2, review finalists. Hope to see him back again in the next series. And in all, for this week's episode, so many entertaining fights. Except for the PP3D and Eruption fight, although it wasn't really their fault to begin with, because both competitors were down one tire. They could all spin. They suffered serious damage. During the head-to-head collision. So you can't really blame the competitors. I mean, they were trying to get into it, trying to get the first strike in, but obviously it didn't come to fruition. In terms of the backstage stuff, I have mentioned before that they do too much talking and not a lot of fights. As you may have noticed, Dara was trying to interview Lucy Rogers. Well, I'll just call her Dr. Lucy. I do apologise if I got the name wrong, but just as soon as they started talking, I think one of the teams was making repairs, and Dara just stopped and turned and said, "Do you mind we're trying to do this?" And I thought to myself, Dara, you're a fucking idiot. You're in the pits. This is where teams need to do their fucking repairs. So why don't you move somewhere a little bit quieter? Like, I don't know, the fucking control pod, you fucking idiot. But, a little bit of a duh moment for Dara there. And speaking of Dara, I just think he's not, fit, not good enough to present Robot Wars anymore. I mean, for Angela, on the other hand, she's doing a fantastic job. I mean, the savage comment on the episode 2, once again she's done a good job, especially when it came to interviewing Terror Turtle Robot, when she pointed out the fiberglass design. So she's getting better and better, in my opinion. Dara O'Brien just seems to get a little bit more boring, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of you would agree with me saying that we need a new host, someone like Craig Charles's example. Although some might say we need Craig Charles back, or we need someone similar to Craig Charles who has a fair share of experience in this in this field. But who knows? Maybe they will bring back Craig Charles. I mean, if the people demand it, if enough people demand it, then the BBC might listen. So overall, like I said before, Dara probably needs to be replaced. No offense to Dara, I like him on Mock of the Week, but this gimmick doesn't really fit with the whole Robot Wars. So get rid of Dara and keep Scarlett. And I think that's pretty much about it for this week's episode. But we're getting closer to the end as we're approaching week 5, and it's going to be quite a unique week, in my opinion, especially with some veterans like Thermidor 2 and Beast, Chompalot, Ironside 3, and Infernal Contraption. So it'll be interesting to see what will happen in that episode. But for now, like I said before, Apollo worthy winners and deserve to be in the grand final. So I just want to make an apology first before I end this video. I did kind of end last week's episode on a bit of a downer, mention the tragic death of the Pussycat Diver. Let me just bring his comments up. David Gribble. The former driver known as David Gribble, who died in a tragic accident. So I do apologise for ending that episode on a bit of a downer. But just before I end this episode on in my opinion, higher and slightly funnier, but it's your decision really. But before I get to that, I just want to give a couple of shout outs. First to Comic Klepto, who provided some of the information on last week's episode for the David Gribble information, and he was nice enough to answer my Edgehog question, which he said that it's a modified version of Glitter Bomb is a modified version of Edgehog, so, and it was acquired by a team or by the name of the Wrexham Wreckers. Also, he kind of pointed out Orte, which was one of the robots that I forgot the name of in the last episode, so I do apologise for that. But a big thanks to Comic Klepto. You can visit his YouTube page, which will be in the description down below. And if you want to hear, someone else's view on tonight's episode, or yesterday's episode, depending on what time you're watching this, or this week's episode, should I say, I strongly suggest that you check out the Activate podcast, where they sit together, two lads get together, or they'll probably have a guest for every now and then, but only on a rare occasion, and get together and just talk about this week's episode, and discuss all the competitors one by one in great detail as well. Basically, it's basically similar to what I normally do, but they do it a lot fucking better than I do. So go check him out. They're on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can see their links on their Twitter. So if you want to type in podcast Activate or Activate podcast on Twitter and check him out. Their links to their own SoundCloud and iTunes are there. So a big shout out to those guys, and I guess it's finally time to end on a high note with a bit of juicy gossip. Now, as some of you, most of you have noticed that in last week's episode, Shunt was not seen, and in his Twitter account, it said that he was having therapy. Now, sources do confirm that it's not an injury kind of therapy. It's an alcohol addiction therapy, because this is what happens when get out of a job for 12 years. And one of the other causes for Shunt's alcoholism is because he recently found out that Matilda and Sakura are a bit of an item. So, yeah, he hasn't really taken that too well. And not to mention that he'll probably be drinking again due to the fact that he got flipped. And I'm not surprised if Dead Metal and Matilda joined him on that. Also, Sergeant Bass, who at first thought was, stuck in the garage feeling sorry for himself, is actually writing a book entitled List of Things I Can Burn. And sources have confirmed in an interview with Sergeant Bass that if he does manage to get back into the new series, he promises to slash the price of his new book by 25% for the first month of the release. So I'm looking forward to the new book. I don't know about you, but I kind of wonder if he does it in audiobook form. So it'll be interesting to see. So that will be it for this episode. Feel free to check out Activate Podcast and Comic Crypto. I'll provide some kind of links in the description. Also, check me out on my social media, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, DeviantArt. Yes, I am on DeviantArt. But most importantly of all, don't forget to subscribe. It doesn't cost a single penny, and it's not going to kill you. I Scouts Honor, promise, or whatever you want to say. So, until then, ladies and gentlemen, I shall see you next week for week 5, and I hope to see you there soon. So, until then, bye-bye.